Hello everyone. I'm sorry I missed my podcast yesterday, so I'm going to give you one um today. I went to see American Fiction. It's wonderful. Um and maybe tomorrow, since there's no questions, maybe I'll just do film reviews on Sundays. Maybe that's what I'll do. Film reviews, music reviews, something like or reviews or whatever I'm listening to or watching at the time. Maybe just films and shows. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Because nobody asked any questions, so maybe I'm answering all the questions with these reads. I don't know. It's snowing now for the first time in 2 years here. I was out. I had to go get some groceries. Um, and I was downtown Brooklyn yesterday. The movie American Fiction was only it's playing in very few places. So it plays at BAM, and I like to go to BAM because the mixed audience. And when you get movies about racial stuff, it's good to watch it and get the reactions of white folks. And they're always watching us. So I like watching them watching us. It's a weird thing. We're going to finish reading on Fight for Freedom. We're in the Resistance page. Let me get some water. Let's go. The reports of senior officers. Oh boy, did I do the volume on my? Let's turn the volume up on this. There we go. The reports of senior officers such as Sedgwick, Goodson, and Dowley, written in 1655 and 1656, reveal the concern of bewilderment with which the British viewed the Africans. In November 1655, after the Battle of Quabana, one officer reported that some think that most of the Spaniards are gone over the backside of the island to Cuba, and that some of the blacks and mulattoes are dead. But certain it is they meet with our English in the woods, and every now and then kill 3 or 4 of them together. There is no doubt that there is a considerable number of mulattoes and blacks and some Spaniards. According to reports written in 1656, the Negroes, for the most part, live by themselves in several parties and near our quarters, and do very often, as our men go into the woods to seek provisions, destroy and kill them with their lances. And these rogues begin to be bold, our English rarely or seldom killing any of them. The Spaniards is not considerable, but the blacks there are many who are like to prove as thorns and pricks in our sides, living in the mountains and the woods, a kind of life both natural and I believe acceptable to them, and are enemies to us, looking upon us as a bloody people, giving no quarter. As we grow secure, they grow bold and bloody. Be assured they must either be destroyed or brought in upon some terms or other. I like the way he says they're living a life that's natural, that's acceptable for them. So I guess he's living an unnatural life. And of course they consider you bloody. You're bloody. It's crazy. Of the Negroes, we have no certain intelligence, only this, that they are separated from the Spaniards, and lives scattered in parties in the woods and mountains, very near our quarters. For of late, we find some of our men killed by them, and they were so bold one night, not so long ago, to set fire to a house in the headquarters of St. Iago, Oaxaca de la Vega, Spanish town. More than 40 of our soldiers were cut off by the Negroes as they were carelessly going about their quarters. Send me a couple of whelps of the bloodhound strain, for I can think of no better way to clear the black rogues from this place. When the British were finally able to score a victory over the Africans, Edward Doyley jubilantly reported the event in April 1656. It hath pleased God to give us some success against the Negroes. A plantation of theirs been discovered. We fell on them, slew them, and totally destroyed one of their chief quarters. Up to the middle of 1656, the fight was so bitter and the outcome so uncertain that in spite of the numerical superiority of the British, there was a strong possibility that they might be driven out of Jamaica. Doyley reported that the enemy hath of late, by ambuscados, infested us and slain many of our men. If soldiers or planters from the other islands do not come here, we cannot long keep the place. Resistance. That's what we like. Resistance. Don Cristobal Arnaldo Sisi. The Spanish resistance was directed by Don Cristobal Arnaldo Sisi. Born in Jamaica and the fourth generation of Spanish Jamaican families. Damn, they was there that long. He was an ardent patriot and was determined to recover the island. The Spaniards and Africans who decided to remain and fight joined forces under his leadership, and he wrote letter after letter asking for supplies and reinforcements. In recognition of Sisi's efforts, the King of Spain wrote in October 1656, appointed him governor of Jamaica. He was ordered to make a rigorous diversion against the English. To keep them continually with arms in their hands, to dislodge them with valor and prudence, and compel them to embark on their ships and leave Jamaica. The governors of the Spanish possession of Puerto Rico, Santo Domingo, Santiago de Cuba, Havana, and the Victory of Mexico were informed of Sisi's appointment and ordered to send him troops and supplies. Cuba, being nearest to Jamaica, was to be the point of assembly for food and supplies, and Don Pedro de Bayona, the governor of Santiago de Cuba, was made responsible for arranging transportation to Jamaica. Unfortunately, Bayona was contemptuous of Sisi and scoffed at his military ability. A fierce rivalry developed between the two men, neither wanting to be subordinate to the other. Sisi insisted that reinforcement be landed on the southern side of the island, where there were many horses, pastures, and plains, and where he could strike readily at the enemy. We were congregated there. Bayona believed that the presence of so many English in the south would make a landing there too perilous. Besides, the transport ships would have a longer way to sail, and would therefore be more vulnerable to enemy attack. Bayona's view prevailed, and he made no secret of his feelings of Sisi was inept and too inactive, spending all his energy writing letters instead of fighting. The feud between these two top officials severely weakened the Spanish resistance movement. The first reinforcements arrived in 1657, included contingents from Mexico, Havana, Santo Domingo, Puerto Rico, and 206 Spanish Jamaican settlers who had fled to Cuba in 1655. The force numbered about 436 men and divided into two companies. Captain Juan de la Reyes of Puerto Rico was in overall charge, assisted by Captain Don Domingo de Silva, and they landed near Correros, Ochos Rios. Everybody knows Ochos Rios. In St. Anne in July, and were distressed to find no shelters had been provided for men. Munitions or provisions to make matters worse, Yassisi immediately relieved Reyes of command and put his 18-year-old nephew in charge. Oh, this guy's incompetent. The Spanish officers already had a tendency to be quarrelsome and insubordinate. They all wanted to have their own way and to be subject to no one, especially not to Yassisi, who was not a professional soldier. They had probably come prepared to resist his authority and to assert their own superior military knowledge. Yassisi's replacement of Reyes with his nephew aggravated the situation. Rumor quickly spread that Yassisi's nephew, Don Francisco de Lieba Yassisi, could not even handle an arquebus, a heavy handgun fired from a rest. That he was in secret correspondence with the English and spent all his time gathering cocoa and sugar for sale. It sounded like malicious gossip. The first test of Yassisi's authority came when he announced his intention of marching across the island with Guatabaco, in today's Clarendon, in order to come in behind the enemy. Reyes disagreed. He argued that there was not enough transport to move supplies, but after a heated quarrel, he gave in to Yassisi. And that's the way it is. Ignorance and incompetence always seems to win. Isn't that strange? Still happening to this day. I'm covering up the dead. So, Fight for Freedom by Carrie Robinson, The Destruction of Slavery in Jamaica. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I might do more reading. I might do a review of American fiction. So, we'll see. I'll do it. And you know, my reviews are not spoilers. So I review basically the concepts that the movies are getting at. So I do the best reviews. Because if you haven't seen it, you can still watch it and enjoy it. You could also have room to disagree, whatever the case may be. You might see more stuff and better stuff, and you might add to it in the comment section. There's another virus going around. New York is completely, what I can say, it's under complete attack by this virus, right? They did a color-coded little map, red being the worst, and New York is deep red. I think New Jersey was red too. So if you're in this area or anywhere where this virus is going around is harming, please be careful, take precautions, wear your mask. People are spitting, coughing, and blowing their nose on each other. So just be careful where you can, and take care of yourselves. Try to rest yourselves if you can, and drink plenty of water, juice and all of that kind of stuff. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and please be safe. Oh, if you want to support, give directly, become a sponsor, or go to the links. See you soon. Tomorrow, actually. Take care.